afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host. And in studio with me, my buddy Lane. What's happening, Lane?
Hi, everybody.
You doing all right, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's a beautiful Thursday.
Beautiful Thursday.
It's still Thursday, right?
Yep, it sure
all day.
is.
The whole day.
Yes.
That's good.
So close to Friday.
It is. It's Friday Eve.
Pretty much.
It's Friday Eve. But hey, it's a great day, man. I hope everybody's having a great afternoon out there in Acadiana and beyond. Shout out to my friends over there at Stan's Auto, man, for all your automobile needs. Go visit my friends at Stan's Auto. 2 locations. One's on Johnson Street. One is right off of Admiral Doyle in New Iberia. Stan's Auto. Man, Lane, a whole bunch of stuff going on. We have a lot of national topics to talk about. We'll stay local here first. Go out to my friends out there in Broussard. Man, let's talk about some water. So Broussard, if you're out there in the Broussard area, or you get your water, well, I guess you would be in the Broussard area to do that, get your water from Broussard. The city of Broussard landed $7 million to expand its water system as the city prepares for more growth. Mayor Bork and the city council over there working really hard. You know, it's a great thing they got going on. If you see the beautification part when you enter the city of Broussard, you see the sidewalks, the lights, just the appearance looking really good. What they were able to do with the park, the downtown area, a lot of teamwork there. So I know this may not seem like a big deal. No, it's $7 million. Who cares, Lane? It's just $7 million of water. You know, well, you need water, that's for sure. But right now, there is, and this is unfortunate, it should never be like this, but there is some politics going on with water, and some of our municipalities do still rely on LUS, or Lafayette Consolidated Government. For the most part, it's been historically a good relationship, but you know, sometimes as recent events, you know, there have been some issues. And I'll let those folks tell the stories, but it's surprising to have politics get into that. But this is really big for the folks of Broussard, because now they can be a little bit more independent and not have to be subjected to maybe some unilateral rate hikes, water costs, things like that. So anytime you can help the ratepayers, whether it's in a municipality, parish as a whole, or which is hard to do or hard to control, but anytime you can help the folks out, that's good. So kudos to the state. And I remember we talked about capital outlay yesterday, went into detail there. This is part of that capital outlay bill, House Bill 2. So Broussard, good job, man. It's going to help your water system. We have some other, in regards to water, I know Youngsville, Karen Crow is doing some improvements. We got a lot of, I know there was a lot of sewage improvements over there. A lot of infrastructure going on across the parish that doesn't necessarily get the media attention. I know the Broussard one did. That's fantastic. But you got to take care of water. You got to have clean drinking water to drink and use. And the more that the parish grows, the more, especially our municipalities, the more we're probably going to see this independent infrastructure to be able to sustain the respective municipalities within the parish outside the dependency of LUS. It's been a great relationship. Well, it's been a great team. The concept works. But I get it. You know, if I was in one of these municipalities, I would have concern with somebody else and really unilaterally with personalities being able to change that without my control, without my say so, without my counsel say so. So I can understand the independence, because personalities come and go in particular political offices, but this type of stuff will prevent if there's ever a personal tiff or whatnot. I'll just say that. Staying in Lafayette, Pew Family Foundation. Have you ever heard of the Pew Family Foundation?
I've heard of them. I don't know too much about them, though.
Man, I got to learn a lot more about this, and in my experience with the Pew Family Foundation, I've seen them get involved in some pretty cool initiatives that help kids, like Love Our Schools, my friend Dr. Kip and a whole bunch of other folks involved in that. But the Pew Family Foundation was involved helping out underprivileged kids. right now they're helping with the university on an educator pipeline. So they're donating some funds. I mean, what's Daily Advertiser calling it landmark support. And basically, it's to advance the College of Education and Human Development's Learning Lab. And they want to produce some more teachers. They want to add quality education to our educators. And I just want to highlight there's a lot more good in our community than bad. There's a lot more good in our state and our country than bad. I know it feels depressing at times to open to click on the news, but sometimes that's the only thing that's selling. And there are a lot of good things out there. And I just want to highlight a few of those locally. The water situation, you're going to see that evolve. And it's not so exciting to talk about water, but each of our municipalities, there's 6 total. If you look at it like this, 7 entities in the parish of Lafayette. You got your 6 municipalities, the 5 municipalities plus the city of Lafayette, and then you got this unincorporated area. And you have all these water systems working together. You have LUS, which is the biggest water supplier, but you got other water districts south, a whole bunch of them, okay? Not a whole bunch, but multiple entities. But as our municipalities are growing, you're going to see, just like Youngsville and Scott and all these municipalities in the parish are focusing on developing roads and other infrastructure that will help future growth. Water is paramount. And again, just being in the room, I know where the desire is, and the desire is for these municipalities to have a little bit more autonomy and not get jerked around in politics. And that's these investments will help. And it's not just Broussard. I saw Water District South, since I mentioned them. I saw that they were in the news too with some either requesting some relief from the parish or working with the parish, but maybe looking for some capital outlay. But I know there's some movement over there, and there needs to be, because there's growth in the Milton area. And some of that area is ripe for growth, and there's plans for growth, but the infrastructure doesn't support it. That's more to the southern part of our parish here in Lafayette. So a lot of interesting things. You didn't know I could talk about water that much, did you?
No, I didn't know that.
It's you found that to be exciting or boring?
Both.
Okay, that's fair. But you got to hear it,
Yeah, it's important.
You got it, because you go without a day without water. It's something.
Yeah, it's just little tiny things that you don't really think about that are the most important in policy decisions and politics just in general.
That's right. Water's the building block of life. Did you know
exactly.
that? Exactly. Oh, wait, hold on. Are they still teaching that in school, or did they get rid of molecules now too? So, just like they got rid of Pluto.
We still talk about that, but we all agree that Pluto is in fact not a planet.
Ain't no wing and ain't no all.
We should.
That's good. I understand that. If the theory is, back to Pluto, my dear sweet little planet, y'all know there's 9 planets. Anywho, so under the theory that you have presented to me in the audience, and it makes sense, now that we have more technology, if we classify Pluto as a planet, there's so many other rocks that are bigger than Pluto doing the same thing that if we name Pluto a planet, they have to be planets.
Exactly.
Fair?
Yeah, fair.
Well, how about history? How about just some tradition, all right? Pluto's the exception. It's a planet.
And that is the best argument. I have to give you it. That is the best argument.
Yeah, I have no objective data or logic if we're going to, because that's a logical reason to not name Pluto a planet. But you just make an exception.
And that would make sense. But it's not already.
Just get rid of Wyoming.
No.
There's other territories bigger than Wyoming, I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Do we have that? Well, we don't have as much access to research, but I want to find that out. All right, guys, stick around. We're going to take us a tiny little break. When we get back, we're going to have a whole bunch of fun, Lane and I. Stick around. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Hey guys, if you're tired of just treating symptoms and you're ready to find out what's really going on, call Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. I love Dr. Kevin. Through wellness and functional medicine, Dr. Kevin focuses on identifying the root cause so you can feel your best. If you're ready to take control of your health, call 983-CARE. That's 983-CARE. Spelled with a C, Lane, not a K. C-A-R-E. I'm just throwing that out there, okay? Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Start feeling better from the inside out. I love him over there, man. Me, my wife, a lot of my friends now. I'm even talking to strangers about it. I had a lady come in my office the other day. I just mentioned Dr. Kevin and what we're doing and how it's worked for me and all the stuff. And, we had similar issues health-wise that, long story short, 2 months later, she comes back in. Not only did she retain me, which I appreciate that, but she told me she was going to Dr. Kevin. And that was fantastic. And I could tell her energy was a little different. But anyway, go check them out. 93 Care. Man, Lane, you were busy. So today's Thursday, beautiful day. Phone lines are not open today, guys. We'll have them hopefully back open tomorrow. But certainly appreciate you guys. You were at the Acadiana Republican Women last night. I couldn't make it. I try to go to those things a lot. We certainly appreciate it. I know we have Jamie on the Miss Jamie on the show every once in a while. She's the president of Acadiana Republican Women. And by the way, once again, shout out to our Republican women. Whether you're part of the groups or not, just in general. But hey, if you're not part of the Acadiana Republican Women or the Fleur de Lis Republican Women, or if you live outside this area, maybe Lake Charles area, Southwest Republican Women, go get involved in your local Republican women clubs. Even if you're not a woman, okay? I go to them. I love it. I've been going for years. Lifelong friendships have been developed, there, and I wouldn't have had those relationships had I not gone. I've been going to the Republican women stuff before I was in office. It's a wonderful, wonderful, two wonderful groups, and go check them out. But Lane went last night. Y'all had some speakers. Who were the speakers last night?
Brock Myers, Andy Spale, and Josh Carlson.
So you had one state senator, Brock Myers. You had two representatives,
Yes.
Andy Spale and Josh Carlson. All right. Do you remember what they talked about?
Yes, they were great.
Holla.
They were so good. All the people there were great. Some of the nicest people you meet in Acadiana. And our weekend, we were so blessed in Lafayette and Acadiana to have some of the best representation
Ooh.
in the legislature. They blew me away. They were so smart, and they got those questions, and they were hitting them hard. Some of those questions they were asking.
Well, that's why I like the ARW and the Fleur de Lis and all the Republican women groups. I'm telling you, if you want to know, guys, there are a few groups that would tell me what's going on. Realtors, mortgage lenders, and home builders. That was a good little group. But if I really just needed brutal, blunt feedback, I would take it. I get it from my monthly meeting with the Republican women, and we say monthly. That was just purposeful. We met more than that, just to keep me straight. But anyway, keep going. Lane, I interrupted you.
They really knew their stuff. They were asked what they thought the most important bill was that they passed.
Ooh, what'd they say?
They passed. And we got some good answers, but one that stuck out to me because it's something you don't think about.
Yeah.
Pompano nets. I didn't even know you could fish pompano.
Hold on. What is a pompano net? What is that?
So pompano are fish that, like saltwater fish that you can just go fish, but you need to have nets to catch them. Like it's not like you can't just throw out a line and catch them like that.
I can't. So if I go like fishing at Rouse's, I don't need my net.
True.
Okay, but you need a net for this one.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And it used to be a Louisiana law that if you want to go catch pompano, you would have to put your social security number on your nets.
Wait, hold on. Guys, did y'all hear that? So that was a law in Louisiana?
Yes.
If you had to get your pompano net, you had to put your social security number on it.
Yes.
What could possibly be the reason for that?
No one really knew.
Which legislator was talking on this one?
Brock Myers.
Okay, so this is Senator Brock Myers. He's from Lafayette area.
There was a man from his district that called in and asked him about it and said that he thought the law should change.
Yeah.
And explained the situation to him for 45 minutes. And then before they got off the call, Brock Myers asked, how many nets does he have? And he said, well, I don't have any nets. I saw this on the Discovery Channel. I thought this was weird.
Oh, come on. The constituent finds out on the Discovery Channel about a Louisiana law.
Yeah. Calls in.
Calls Brock. Brock was probably with them like, all right, 45 minutes. I was with you 44 minutes ago when you said Social Security on net.
Yep. And then, so it passed the Senate, and then it went to the House. And when it went to the House, it was about to go on the floor. And then the guy that was supposed to present the bill was taking a call. So Representative Josh Carlson gets up and goes read the bill out. He said he got 90% of the bill, or he explained it completely wrong. And it passed with a voice vote. They had no debate, no questions, passed like that. So now you do not need to put your social security number on any more of your Pompano nets.
Thank you, Discovery. Thank you to the constituent. Hey, and thanks to Brock and Josh. Josh, way to be on your toes. Hey, if I want to go get a net, I don't want to put my social security number in the... That is such... Okay, in Louisiana, we have another law. You have to be, for a florist, to arrange flowers, you have to have a license. Now, I don't agree with that, okay? But I at least understand how we got there. Yeah. Good lobbying, politics, good old boy club. Hey, not everybody's going to be a florist. We're going to have a monopoly on this. I don't agree with it. You probably don't either. But at least understand. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put it. I'm going to go buy a net, but I can't get the net until I put my social security number on the net.
Yeah, it's so silly. And the law finally changed, and now we don't have to put our social security numbers on Pompano nets.
That must have been quite a 45-minute conversation.
Yes.
All right, so that was Brock. That was Josh. All right, what else stood out to you over there that they talked about other than fishing nets?
They talked about how a lot of the most important bills that get the legislature don't get the headlines. It's those little bills. They had a really good workforce development bill that they put together. They have they had one. Annie Spell spoke about a bill she did with the medical field and sexual crime victims, and how they reworked some laws to make it easier for women that get assaulted or get raped to report that and get the help they need, and how that's really going to help our state go forward, because a lot of people in rural districts that can't get the resources they need to report these crimes, because there's no one that's registered in the parish to be able to fill out all the paperwork for them to go to the police and have all the medical exams.
What a great initiative. I'd like to hear more about that bill, and I'll tell you this. I ran into a pretty sad case, and it was brought to me by another attorney without breaching confidentiality. Long story short, there was an issue. This was St. Martin Parish, and sad situation, unfortunately, probably a lawsuit coming. Lady goes to report a rape in St. Martin Parish, and what the evidence is starting to show, although more developments to come, is that there was just a total disregard to this person's, the way that there's two issues. One is what you're talking about, substantive law, that seems to what Annie's bill seems to address, okay? But then there's this other component, like these particular deputies just totally disregarded this lady, and I'm going to leave it at that, just out of privacy. But on something you said resonated, Lane, when these victims, and they are very much victims, it is so hard. I've never been a rape victim. I've never been a woman rape victim. I just, it's so hard for these ladies to come forward. So to build up the courage to go to a law enforcement entity, that was very heartbreaking. So we're going to see how that develops. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's not the only one, Yes. So it might be like a thing. But if it can happen there, it can happen in a lot of other places too. I'm wondering if that bill will help that. I think it helps from, like I said, the substantive law, kind of some requirements,
Yeah, she went through the details of it, and it made sense. And it's things you don't even think about. Those little tiny things that are going to make a huge difference for our state and really protect our citizens.
Well, and that's one of the few areas where Baton Rouge can help. It goes in, and that really does affect it. All right, guys, stick around. We will be right back. We'll continue this conversation. It's so bored. Stick around. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Go check us out at rumble.com. I want to see that chat rocking. Shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience and, of course, our KPEL listening audience. Hey, guys, looking for luxury? Yeah. Looking for safety? What about a dealership that puts customers first? Visit Giles Volvo in Lafayette. You see the Volvos. Go get you some. Whether you're shopping for a new Volvo or a quality pre-owned vehicle or expert service from factory-trained technicians, that's important. The Giles team is ready to help. Giles Volvo. Stop by their showroom on South City Parkway or see their inventory online. Experience the Volvo difference, at Giles Volvo, where exceptional vehicles meet exceptional service. Go visit them, GilesVolvoCars.com. I love it over there. Man, I'm telling you. Lane, you ever seen them Volvos? Pretty sweet,
Yes,
huh?
very sweet. They're very nice.
Like luxury here. But the thing about Giles, Giles Automotive, it's all the locations. Their maintenance department, second to none. And Bob was in here telling me one time, or maybe he was telling me off there, about how their maintenance shop looks and how clean it is and some of the conditions. I love how he takes care of his folks too, and you could tell his folks take care of the customers. So go check them out at
100%.
Giles. Yeah, man. So go check them out, Giles Volvo here in Lafayette, Louisiana. I hope you run into Bob. Give him a big hug. Tell him Josh and Lane said hello. All right. So Lane's telling us about his adventures. I appreciate that. He was at the Acadiana Republican Women last night. I couldn't make it. I'll be there next month. I love you guys. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it. But Lane is here to report. So they had Representative Josh Carlson, my dear buddy, my other buddies too, Representative Annie Spell, and then Senator Brock Myers. A little history there. Brock Myers, friend of mine, he ran, got elected in the House. Then the Senate seat by Jean-Paul Cusson was vacated. He then becomes the senator of that seat. In that seat, his seat opens up in the House. Andy Spell runs and is elected there. Of course, Carlson ran outright in the last election cycle. He won. So three local legislators over there. You were about to tell us though, Representative Carlson had brought up the dumbest bill he saw, right? That almost passed.
Yes, it passed the House. It somehow
Come
came to
on.
the House, and the senators, the people that were pushing against it in the House.
What's the bill?
The bill was to have government-funded grocery stores, just like New York City, and it somehow passed the House in a Republican supermajority. There was some bad lines in there that they didn't even notice that it was talking about funding these grocery stores. It got to the Senate. They killed it in the Senate. People like Brock Myers are the ones that helped kill it.
Here's the deal. If that's gonna happen, it should happen at the local level. Start off, okay? Operative word, if. Now, if you're in a location where there are these things called food deserts, it's a real thing. I didn't know about it until I got in office.
That was what the goal was, to address food deserts, but that was their solution, which was flawed.
Well, it is flawed naturally when you start at the state level.
Yes.
Probably good intentions, probably want to help a lot of folks, okay? There was a push for that. I'm very familiar with it. I believe in those situations. You got a food desert. Lafayette had one, and it probably still does in this one little area. It's gotten better. But regardless, if local government wants to invest in like one time capital funds, possibly with, I would support something like, I would only support something like that if there was a plan to cover maintenance where the taxpayers weren't on the hook for years to come. There's a legitimate need, and this is the least restrictive way to do it. So if there's other ways to accomplish the goals, great. Like for Baton Rouge, for example, state legislature. Okay, I get it. You want to solve some problems. I love that. Okay, fantastic. Don't grow government. What that plan sounds like, Lane, and you correct me if I'm wrong because you were there. Sounds like it would be more government involvement, meaning programs. And at that point, when you start getting to the state level and the national level, my opinion, if your goal is to target people that don't have food, well, then just send them food directly. It would be more cost effective for you just to send food directly, like back in the olden days out in the rural country. You go get your rations. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you know. But hey, the food went to the people, okay? The food went to the people. So if the state just must get involved in that, and your issue is there's not healthy options for certain people for certain reasons, and that's true, that's a legitimate fact. But like Lane just said, the solution is where we debate. How do we fix it? And any discussions coming higher than the local level, I feel you're going to get more or bigger government and more bureaucracy and less efficiency in regards to the money and resources getting it to the folks that actually need it. That's my humble 2 cents. Keep on with your story, though.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think we can fix food deserts by just getting a bigger government. That doesn't directly solve the problem. The goal is not to grow the government. The goal should be to grow food resources in these communities. And the solution is not always to just throw government at the problem. when we do that, we just end up creating more problems, where we're just wasting all this money to create even more problems. A lot of these areas have crime problems. Why don't we go in there and fix those crime problems? That would really help the solution. That would really help those problems.
It really would, and it could help with recruiting private sector stores. And look, some of these areas, it doesn't make sense financially for the businesses to open a grocery store or whatnot. Other times it's straight up theft and crime, or maybe the infrastructure of the particular city wherever it is not keeping up with the times. That could also impact. We talk about recruiting businesses, but part of the gig and the goal is to retain businesses too. Man, one of my favorite things was working with Lita and working with other local 1A, but really direct, like, business owners. You know what I'm saying? That were maybe thinking about leaving. There was legitimate concerns, and just being that promoter in chief. But retention is just as important as recruiting. How about that? Recruiting businesses. You want to maintain that longevity, that long, deep-rooted connectivity and connection with the community. That's how you keep jobs here for a long time. It's harder for a company. If your family has ties in a community, it's hard for you to leave that community. If a business has ties to that community and the community appreciates them and gives back, the community usually does. Does the local government, wherever you're at, that's the not rhetorical question, but that's the general question to ask. Are you giving back? Are you giving? Because you're taking a lot. You're taking a lot in taxes, and you're getting a lot of, at least Lafayette, I'm sure other municipalities like this, you're getting sales tax, both operating and capital. So are we giving back? And a lot of times, that's why at the local level, it's so much better to have these conversations, because that business owner, look, even a chain like Super One, they'll come in and talk to those local folks, make sure they're on the same page. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. We'll continue this discussion and so much more. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Man, we are broadcasting from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. I want you to go check us out on rumble.com. Get us a little chat over there. Minimal commercials today on Rumble. That's good. That's good. All right, so, by the way, let me tell you about my friend over there, Jonathan Goodo at Indoor Recreation and his crew. I love it, man. If you're looking to bring more fun into your home, man, let my boy over there help you out at Indoor Recreation off of Rue Louis the 14th in Lafayette. That's right off of Collie Saloon. It's easy to access. Man, they got some cool stuff over there. I will spend my paycheck, Lane. I can't. My wife might not want me to go back in there. I'm going to take her with me. They got some cool stuff she'll like too. But anyway, Indoor Recreation has everything, man, from pool tables to, remember those arcade games? They got all that stuff, shuffleboard, foosball, air hockey, darts, pub furniture. You should see some of this cool pub furniture, and so much more. If you have a pool table already, great. Indoor Recreation also offers expert moving. They'll recover, they'll level, they'll deliver, they'll install. With more than 35 years serving South Louisiana, trust Indoor Recreation. Visit 211 Rue Louis the 14th or call them 984-1625 today. You want to know where your kids are? Well, build a game room and build it from Indoor Recreation. Indoor Recreation right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. The owner of that establishment is very much a conservative too, by the way. I've had great conversations with him. And my buddy Tim Metcalf introduced us. So I love that. All right, so Lane was telling us about Acadiana Republican Women last night. I love these groups. If you have not participated in, or just go visit like an evening. You get a good lunch. I think both of them are in the evenings now. Acadiana Republican Women meets at River Oaks or Alpha Collie Saloon once a month on Wednesdays. I think it's the third Wednesday of the month. Don't quote me on that. Whatever yesterday was, that Wednesday of the month is on my calendar. And then Florida Lee also on a Wednesday night each month. But there's other groups, too, across the state. We're very blessed to have an audience outside of Acadiana. So you go check it out. I'm telling you, somewhere around you, there is one. Shout out to the St. Landry RPEC, okay? They are also having a women's initiative. I don't know if it's a women's Republican group. I think it is because they had some NFRW members at the last Florida League Republican Women. That's National Federation of Republican Women. Anywho, go check it out. You got a group somewhere you can be involved. You don't have to be a woman to be in the club. You can be an auxiliary member. But if you want to know what's in the know, they got some cool things going on. And like Lane was telling us. So keep going. There were some other initiatives. You said something about judge shopping.
Yes.
So talk to us about, all right, so there's an initiative going around. First, judge shopping, if you haven't noticed. A lot of what Letitia James, in this is on the criminal side, Letitia James in Atlanta, or New York, Alvin Bragg in New York City, Fannie Willis in Atlanta, the New Orleans folks in Louisiana. There's at least one other example in Louisiana. All these people just kind of shopping around, abusing the system, all this stuff. Well, on the civil side, you can do that too. A personal injury, for example. Well, there's believe it or not, there are programs out there that lawyers can use to see, like, what's the history of this judge? What is this judge's, it's all public record. What is this judge's tendencies? Well, if I file in this parish, does this parish have, which is fine, if the parish is a proper venue, you can do that. But it's a thing where you want to get the most favorable outcome, so you go and pick the judge. When we have random allotment, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Talk to us, Lane.
Okay, so what was happening under state law, it's in our Constitution that you can either get a jury trial or you can just get a trial in front of a judge. What ends up happening is people are waiving their jury trials so they can just get in front of an easy judge that was going to let them get away with these crimes.
Okay.
So now under Louisiana law, which is passed under HB 310-1, Act 541 by Representative Josh Carlson, now whenever you decide to waive a jury trial, you go back into that random lottery to get a new judge. So you're not stuck with these judges that are letting people get away with murder and these really big crimes that they shouldn't be getting away with in the first place. You even have probably the most liberal DA in the whole state in New Orleans that was even complaining about this problem where people are getting away with these horrendous crimes because these judges were just letting them get away with it.
One thing I like that you added, they go back into random allotment. When I first heard about this bill, I was vehemently against it because it was presented to me in this way, that the state could waive your jury trial. Or could prevent you from waiving your jury trial. That's how it was read to me at first. And I was like, whoa, that's the complete opposite. That means the government can go and randomly charge anybody, and if the person that's charged, who has a constitutional right to waive their jury trial, if they think that they would be, maybe it's a legally complicated case and they only want the judge, well, if the DA's like, no, no, that's how it was presented to me at first. The way you described it makes a lot more sense and could work a lot. It can't hurt, and you probably should be able to try it because what we've been doing is not working. So that's a great idea. I thought we were going on the civil side, but it's staying in the criminal side. That makes sense. So if you go forward now, let's say either one, or I guess this would still be in the accused court to be able to exercise that right. They don't stay with that judge necessarily. They could. It's just a random allotment. You go as if it's a new one, a new case. But what's interesting on that is it's already random allotment when you first start.
Yes.
So it does seem to favor the district attorney more than it does the defendant, and that's fine unless you're the defendant, because the Constitution protects us from the government. It doesn't protect the government from us.
Yes.
You see, so that I'd like to know more about that, but hey, if it passes, it did pass.
It did pass.
It did pass.
And signed by the governor.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a good bill. So that's good, and I'm glad to see the clarification because that first part, I thought if it would have been presented, if it had been written like it was first presented to me, I think that would have had some challenges constitutionally.
Yeah, because the original plan was that there were some representatives that were talking about doing an amendment to change the process.
Yeah, and
he went in and said, we don't need amendments. Let's just change some laws, and we can follow the Constitution without having to add one of our hundreds of amendments we already have in our Constitution.
The glorified book of statutes.
Yes,
that's what our state constitution is. Then how many times has it been amended since 1974? When it was? You want to look it up?
I'll look it up.
Look that up. It's a lot, and we're gonna get the number. We're trying to get the number here, but put that in perspective, our federal constitution, probably a really great document, wouldn't you agree? I think so.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yes, very amazing. It's only been amended 27 times, and the first 10 came all at once. So I would say it's 18 times. And the one time we did use it as a statute on prohibition, we repealed it. So that's 2 of them. So really, it's like 16 times. If you think about it, if you think about it, that's from 1789, or actually from 1791 when it was first amended with the Bill of Rights. Our Louisiana state constitution has only been in place since 1974. It's only 52 years. You got that number?
It is 221. So that means that our federal constitution, which has been around for over 200 years, has 12% of the amount of amendments we have just on our state constitution, which is voted every time we amend. It has to be voted by the citizens.
Which great, it's fine. Just don't treat it as a book of statutes. We should amend our supreme law of the land minimally. Otherwise, why is it a supreme law of the land? It just changed and moving target. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for hour number 1. Hour number 2 right around the corner. It's gonna be great. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting from the KPL Studios. Go check us out at rumble.com. You can look us up, the Josh Guillory Show. Guys, I remain your grateful host in studio with me still. My friend over there, Lane. Lane, what's up, buddy?
Hi, everybody.
You had a good break?
Very good break.
Didn't run away?
Didn't run away.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hey, a confident smile can last a lifetime, and that's exactly what you'll find with my friend over there, St. Marie Orthodontics, Dr. Stacy St. Marie, one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet in your life, whether it's braces, clear aligners, or personalized orthodontic care for kids, teens, or even adults. St. Marie Orthodontics, they combine advanced treatment with friendly, compassionate service. If you've been thinking about improving your smile, schedule a consultation today. St. Marie Orthodontics, creating healthy, beautiful smiles you'll be proud to share. Go visit Dr. Stacy St. Marie's got a new dentist in on the team. They've expanded. That's fantastic. You got a location in Lafayette. You got a location in Opelousas. You can't go wrong. St. Marie Orthodontics. Go check them out. Tell them we said hello. Me and Lane are continuing to discuss a great little meeting yesterday of the Acadian Republican Women, talking about 3 legislators that we have, Senator Brockmeyer, Representatives Annie Spell and Josh Carlson, coming in strong with some updates, some of the stuff we talked about earlier. Now we're talking about one. I think you have one more that they covered that I think is worth talking. So it's regarding high school kids and jobs. Talk to me.
So HB 232, written by Representative Josh Carlson. This legislation was brought to him by a school board member, Kate LeBeau. This has been something that I've been discussed for years and years and years, and that was never able to really get all the way through. So before this bill passed, if you were in high school and you wanted to get a job, you would have to get the school board to approve your job. So in doing this, you would either have to go to your school and get the paperwork from your school. If your school was closed, you would have to go to the school board. Well, the problem with that is the school board is not always open. And it leads to people that have, for example, single moms that really don't have the time to bring their child all the way on the other side of town to go get the application, to fill it out, bring it back, to then go to the job to get the job application, to then go bring the job application back. So it ends up being 5-6 different trips back and forth trying to get this one job. So this actually cuts that down, so you actually don't need to get this approval. The only approval you should need as a student is from your parent. Parents know best for their students.
Yeah.
Why a school board? Why should the school board be in charge of this? I don't know. You go home. Students go home every night to their parents. Do they go home to a school board member every night? I don't think so.
I hope not.
I hope not.
No, if it's our school board members, I love those guys.
Yes.
Tough gig, not an easy gig.
Not at all.
You're making a decision every school board meeting. You're upsetting somebody.
Ooh, somebody, and I've been to that.
Somebody.
Ooh, there's some people that are heated. You see some people in
man.
the back that are talking back to them, yelling, and they get in these arguments. Oof.
That and the planning commission. That's some intense stuff,
Yes.
man. The planning commission folks don't get paid. Keep going.
Yes. So this bill basically just gets rid of those burdensome permit requirements So now it's easier for children to get jobs, so they can get a job, whether that be during Christmas break, summer break, or even just throughout the school year.
How long has that law been in place?
That law? I don't know. Are you talking about the new law that just...
No, the old one where you had to go to the government to get
I
permission.
actually don't know. Let me look this up.
I'd love to know that, because if it was around when I was around, I'd violated every one of those. And so did my employers, and so did my parents. Bet you a lot of people say that. That's so interesting, though. Again, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, them being whoever drafted this overbearing big government legislation. I'm sure it was good intentions. We don't want sweat camps. We don't want kids being abused. But like Lane said, government, dude, parents' job. And if there is examples of that, you got bigger problems than one child, go shut it down if there's violations of law. But, I mean, when is adding government, school board's government, okay? When is adding government like the greatest solution? When is that? When is adding a bureaucratic step for you to go and work? And we want to show our upcoming generation, the next generation, and then this generation is going to want to show the next generation how to work. We are a working country. That's how we got here. We have built things and we work, all right? Now, I know for our economy on the macro scale, we've just done a really good job of just, for whatever reason, transferring from a manufacturing economy where we're building things to a service-related economy. We went through 50 years. We finally got an administration in office in Washington that, love them or hate them, at least the goal is to increase American jobs. You may not like the tariffs, and we'll see how it all plays out 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. But I like the fact that we got a guy that says, well, something's wrong, and what we've been doing ain't working, so let's do something different. I love that. What you got over there? You find anything?
I can't find the. I can't figure out when it was like that, like when it first became like that. But it was a huge problem, and I know speaking to a lot of kids at my school, they were trying to get jobs and they just could not go and get those permits. So they ended up their first jobs. They had to get through school, so they had to graduate at 18, and then graduate, and then all of a sudden they had to get their first job at 18. They had no workforce experience. Who really wants to hire someone coming out of high school who's never even had any work experience at all?
Yeah.
It's not really recommended.
Did you have to go get permission to come do this?
No, actually, I got this job right after the bill passed, so I got
Oh,
lucky.
yeah, there you go, man. I was about to say, who's in trouble if we didn't do it? I'm assuming the employer has the burden, not the employee.
I actually don't know. I don't know who would have the burden in that case.
Yeah. That's what a great bill to replace that dumb law. And again, it's probably good intentions. Probably, well, we need to protect children. Yeah. Okay, cool. Again, state, leave us alone. It's a local issue, if anything. Now, I say that. Legally, it is a state issue. It's a state issue because the 10th Amendment says it's not a federal issue. Therefore, it's not a federal issue. It's a state issue. But how do we implement this? Don't implement it big government, meaning one size fits all, meaning you got to go through the government bureaucrats to go do an American principle, which is get out your house and work. The value of work. Teach these kids, man. It's fantastic.
I think this is a prime example of a bill that a citizen brought up, a constituent brought up to a representative. They actually talked about how about 70% of the bills that go onto the House floor or Senate floor are brought to them by constituents.
Good.
Yes.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yes. Because most of the bills that go up are these bills that make big differences, yet they're not these huge pieces of legislation.
Yep.
Brock Myers talked about a workforce comp bill that he spent years working on. That's one he worked on for years, while there's Pompano bill came up by a constituent. This workforce development came to Representative Carlson by a constituent. These really important bills that a lot of times don't get the press it deserve.
Yeah.
Come to representatives and senators by constituents. And it really shows us that in the state we live in the country we live in, that we still have power. That if there's a bill we want to change, bring that to your representative, bring that to your senator, bring that to your councilman. We can change laws, we can make our society better, we can make our state and our community better. That's
what I'm saying, baby. All right, anything else from the Acadiana Republican Women meeting?
I think it was important to really highlight how great these women are. They
Yes.
really get on the ground and they really help our Republicans that are running for office get elected.
True.
They work very, very hard, and I think they deserve all the credit they deserve. I sat down, I got in there, and there was a table in the front with two women sitting, and I was like, you know what, let me go introduce myself. And I sat there, had a whole long conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So nice.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, everyone there's like a mama or a grandma to you. They treat you well.
Oh, it's phenomenal and smart,
Very smart.
informed, man. But look, you can get that too. Florida League Republican women, Acadiana Republican women. That's in the Lafayette area. Fantastic, Acadiana area. There are other groups. We all have like RPECs, Republican Parish Executive Committees. Those are more party, not necessarily the. Don't take this the wrong way, RPEC members. Not necessarily the folks, but this is more like party policy and party, and that's great. Strength in numbers, I understand. But you want the rubber meets the road, talking to the folks, more community oriented, more of what the party policy and a candidate actually means to the community. You'll get it more, in my opinion, through these Republican women groups. But the RPECs are very important too. They're not all the same. They have different rules, but if you want to be involved, you can check it out.
And the great thing is that a lot of the people there are elected officials.
Yeah.
So yesterday I went there and I've been talking about how we should raise the speed limit on Louisiana Avenue. I went there, spoke to my parish councilman, and he told me send me an email.
Which one, Tabor?
Up in Camp Crow.
That's Tabor.
Yep. And he told me send him an email and we'll get it done.
Send
So
them an email.
we're already moving making some movements on that.
I want to see that. I want to see when that speed limit increase is introduced, and I
Yes.
want to know what council members so I can tune into AOC, get the blue cards, and get my popcorn. I'm just kidding. That's fantastic. Great council members, but that's what hold on. That's what you can get at the Florida League Republican Women, at the Acadiana Republican Women. And I'm giving him a hard time. I'm really giving my former teammates a hard time. I love those guys too. I mentioned Brian. He's a wonderful dude. Love serving with him. That's tough though. I had a little a run in with speed limits,
Yes.
and it's a thing. But if you're gonna do it, Louisiana Avenue right now in that particular area that you're talking about might make sense. But remember, there's a Buc-ee's and a big old ballpark right there, so you got to be careful.
It's tough. But the
gotta be
thing is that right where it's 50, that's where Buc-ee's and that's where all the business is. It's these areas that don't have much traffic. That's where they lower
So the
it.
new areas.
Yes.
Is that the area where they're doing like drag racing right
Yes.
now? Oh God! What? Stop doing that.
I know, for real. They stopped because they added the extinction, but it still happens every now and
Oh no! I get reports like it's
Yes.
like rampant, which you would think just go if you know it's on. Go look. But anyway, all right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Lane's gonna go drag race in the break. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Guys, when you or someone you love needs quality care at home, trust Audubon Home Health. Audubon Home Health provides compassionate, professional home health services designed to help patients recover, regain independence, and stay where they're most comfortable, at home. Their experienced team over there at Audubon Home Health is committed to personalized care with dignity and respect every step of the way. Choose Audubon Home Health because there's no place like home to heal. And also shout out to my friends at Dino's. Dino's Pizza, 3 locations, Bertrand College Saloon South and in Henderson. Go check them out. All right. So, hey, a lot more things going on in the world, and we're gonna switch gears here a little bit, Lane. You did a great job keeping the folks updated on some legislative initiatives. I thought that was pretty cool, man.
Yes, thank you. And if anyone's interested, the next Acadiana Republican Women's event is the third Wednesday next month, and we're going to have Representative Clay Higgins at our meeting.
Hey, there you go. All right, so we'll see. Hey, go ask all the questions. All right, my dear buddy, who has guest hosted the show more than any other person. The next time he gets a jacket. I'm serious.
I know. I'm ready to see this jacket.
Let me
It's
tell you
nice.
something. It's going to be on, okay? I don't want to set the bar too high, but I'm just saying because it's the first one. All right, let's go to Iran, man. All right. I know this is going to be a long, drawn-out process possibly, and it's different. It's a different tactic than we've done in the past in the Middle East. So I get it. It's different than the Desert Storm Initiative. It's different than Iraq and Afghanistan. This is different how we're approaching this, but I kind of want to stop the hand wringing, and talk about some like cold, hard, undeniable reality. Okay, so right now the U.S. military, as you may have seen today and yesterday and the day before, So we're taking the fight, what appears to be directly to the throat of the Iranian regime in a very surgical way. You know, we've expanded strikes into northern Iran. You may have seen that. We've hit command centers. We've hit air defenses. Over in the Strait of Hormuz, our Navy just sent a Hellfire missile directly down the smokestack of an unladen Iranian oil tanker that tried to run our naval blockade. That's not a like. What's going on with that? What is going through your mind when you see a United States naval blockade and we're gonna ignore it? I mean, dude, it's a blockade, and it's one. And again, I tell you what, this is another incident where the region has to look and say, yeah, they're going to back up what they're saying. It's a blockade. If you try to penetrate, you're going to get engaged and destroyed. That is the MO. But these guys, this oil tanker ignored the warning. They found out, and that's how we establish boundaries. Now, predictable as clockwork. We got a lot of folks out there online, the mainstream folks, the big folks, the big corporate media folks, and the establishment swamp, which still exists very much. They are losing their minds, okay? They're weeping, they're gasping, they're crying about escalation. I mean, we're at war. I mean, it's a war, it's a conflict. You're going to escalate. They're escalating. What do you want to do? The United States, I mean, like, let's get something straight here. The U.S., the United States and Israel did not start this round, okay? Iran broke the ceasefire. What do you want to do? Iran repeatedly attacked commercial vessels. Iran has been trying to choke the life out of global energy and hold the civilized world hostage. So the folks complaining about President Trump's heavy-handedness, well, I say this. What's your alternative? What is your alternative? Are we supposed to just sit back and let a bunch of radical mullahs dictate who gets to use international waters? Because that's an alternative. I don't like that one. Are we supposed to write them another multi-billion-dollar check and pray they stop building bombs? No. We tried the weak-kneed establishment diplomacy, and it gave us a regional powder keg. I applaud President Trump on this for having the backbone to do what has to be done. It may not be what we like long term. It's not. I don't like it in the short term, but I don't like the alternative more. You know, by flattening their radar, by hitting their coastal missile sites and on many strategic places. One, it was an island. I'm trying to find the name of it. Blockading their ports. By doing all of this, we're softening up these targets. You can't deny that reasonably. We are systematically dismantling their ability to project terror, slowly and surely and methodically. I mean, I was watching something last night, and a commentator, very, very good point. I mean, if we wanted to cripple Iran, like really, and really, honestly, cripple China a little bit, we would just destroy all of Iran's oil. I mean, we would just destroy the nonsense out of it. We would just destroy their fields, their production. We would just annihilate it if we really wanted to go there. China would have an impact to it. We would have an impact too. The global market would have an impact to it. But I'm just saying, because a lot of folks still try to bring this to oil and gas, and they still try to bring, like, what's the big deal? What's the domino effect you keep talking about? That's one of them. One of them. But the logic here, Trump's initiative, Hegseth, Secretary of War's plan, military, and all this stuff, very simple logic. Very raw, very real. And it's submission by force. It is. Peace through strength, I get all that, but this is submission by force. You hit them hard. You bring them to their knees. If they want the bombs to stop falling, they act right. That's the logic, and it makes sense. They stopped targeting our allies. They stopped mining the strait. This is crazy what's going on. They stop harassing shipping lanes. And if they don't, the vice president said, we keep hammering them. And if that relentless pressure ultimately triggers the total collapse of the Islamic Republic's regime, great, fantastic. The world will be a safer place without them. Much safer place without them. But we're going to take us a tiny little break. When we get back, we'll finish up these thoughts on Iran and so much more. Stick around. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Guys, looking for luxury, safety, and a dealership that puts customers first? Visit Giles Volvo Cars here in Lafayette. Giles Volvo. Whether you're shopping for a new Volvo, a quality pre-owned vehicle, which are very nice, or expert service from factory-trained technicians, the Giles team over there, Giles Volvo, is ready to help. Go get you a Volvo. Stop by their showroom on South City Parkway or see their inventory online. Experience the Volvo difference at Giles Volvo, where exceptional vehicles meet exceptional service. Go visit them. Giles Volvo right here in Lafayette. You can get you a Volvo too and get it from Giles Volvo. All right, man. Let's keep on keeping on. We are talking about Iran. We are talking about our escalated efforts over there. We saw this coming. It wasn't Israel that broke the ceasefire. It wasn't the United States in this regard. It was the Iranian regime. And while we still, for whatever reason, we still see the establishment complaining that Congress hasn't authorized this. What's wrong with you, executive branch? What has Congress authorized? What has Congress done at all? But let's speak some truth if we're going to have the conversation. If we're going to have the conversation, let's have the conversation. Congress hasn't had the guts to vote on foreign policy for the last 4 administrations. That's a fact. They are completely paralyzed. They'd rather let the executive branch take all the risks so they can sit on the sidelines and snipe. I'm convinced of it because we've had Democrat and Republican presidents and Democrat and Republican Congresses. I mean, someone has to lead the country. And the commander-in-chief right now is leading. But as strong, honestly, but as strong pro-Trump conservatives, which many of us are, we could back this particular president's courage 100% and still ask some good questions too. I just want to point out that it's real easy, and I hear Rand Paul and all these other folks, well, we just need Congress's intent. Congress doesn't do anything. If we have to wait on we tried that. It's called the Articles of Confederation. Decisions by committee. No strong executive. That's crazy. And especially crazy dealing with the region that we're dealing with in this particular conflict. That region understands and respects strength, brutal strength. Not no wishy-washy congressional committee discussions on nothing. But asking what is our ultimate military objective, that's fair. That's not second guessing. I have no problem with Congress asking that. But it's not like the group of 8 was in the dark here. It's not like the president hasn't been keeping Congress updated. And it's not like Congress can't. How about this? How about this, Rand Paul and all the other folks? Why don't y'all go ahead, since you feel like you can pass everything to tell what the president should do, why don't you go ahead and vote it down? Why don't you go ahead and bring some legislation and legislate a law into place that would prohibit the president from doing what he's doing? Can you get support for that? No. You can't get support for renaming a post office, okay? So sit down. This ain't 1988 where you have grown-ups in the Senate and grown-ups in the House, okay? And grown-ups all around. This is not that. We are going through a purge, okay? And we're either going to come out stronger or we're going to come out going even more in this direction. But I hope it's coming out stronger and we learn some things. But I don't mind asking the questions. Congress has a right to know, and the American people have a right to know. You know, what is our ultimate objective? What do we want to accomplish over there in Iran? I mean, it's how we ensure our bravest men and women aren't dragged into a permanent nation-building quagmire. I'm all about asking the question and getting the answer. I mean, we don't want another 20-year occupation. We want a fast, lethal, decisive victory on a decisive objective. So soften the targets. I think this is a fantastic way to negotiate. Try to negotiate. We're still in a war. Hey, you know what? We're going towards an invasion. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put my troops in the best position to succeed. I'm going to hit all of these targets. I'm going to soften the ground assault so much that our army can walk in to Tehran. That's kind of what he's looking at. I mean, it looks like that's what he's doing. You know, so soften the targets, man. Enforce the blockade. Let's bring them to submission. But time will tell. Time will tell on this. You've been keeping up with this Iranian stuff, Lane?
A little bit, but I feel like it ends and then it doesn't end and then it ends and then it doesn't end, and I just want to make sure our troops are safe and our country is in a better place than what it was before. That's my goal.
Our troops are safe. Don't worry about the troops. The troops are fine. The troops are trained to engage and destroy the enemy. We don't
absolutely. And I do have to give the Trump administration credit because we have the highest. It's the first time since before Biden that we've met recruitment numbers.
That is so cool.
We've actually exceeded numbers, and we actually have to keep raising those numbers.
Be all you can be.
While the Biden administration had to continuously drop every year, they dropped it and they kept missing. We're exceeding and continuously having to raise it, and we're still going above those numbers.
Man, so that is a really good stat. That is very, very comforting. And again, it just shows you the American spirit is still alive, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: as a former soldier or soldier, man, soldiers want to be soldiers. Marines want to be Marines. Sailors want to be sailors. Whatever the Coast Guard guardsman wants to be guards. I don't know what you guardians are the space force. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a dumb grunt. But but man, we just want to do the job. We went to training. We got training like just. Whatever it is, let's go. You know what I mean? It's the only way, not the only way, but one of the main ways to just destroy morale is taking the war fighter ethos out of the war fighters. And that's something Pete Hegseth has brought back to the Department of War, Department of Defense, whatever you want to call it. And that's that war fighting ethos. Man, these are war fighters. Train your war fighters to be war fighters. Anywho, we got to take a tiny little break. When we get back, we're going to have some fun. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live, or we're broadcasting from the Rumble Studios. Go check us out live over there on the chat. I want to see the chat. Lane, I want to see the chat. I want to see our folks hot and heavy, rocking and rolling. Phone lines are not open today, guys, but we certainly appreciate you. And, man, let me tell you, my friend over there, Dr. Kevin, go check him out. I talk about him all the time. If you want to start feeling better, you want to start treating more than just the symptoms, you want to really get to the root cause of whatever it is. Whatever ailment you have, it has a root cause. Try to find it. Don't just treat the symptoms. Try to, work with Dr. Kevin. Functioning wellness medicine is what he practices. It's fantastic. It's not intrusive at all. And you'd be surprised the little tiny techniques that Dr. Kevin and his team will put you through that make a world of difference. Do like me and my wife and my family and a lot of my friends and at this point strangers. Just go check them out. 983-CARE, Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Let's go back to these. This time the United States House, not the legislature here. We a great conversation earlier, by the way. And the House Republicans just dropped a brand new $95 billion legislative package, and that would be to pave I-49, build some bridges, you know, in Baton Rouge. I'm joking. It's a joke. Of course not. That would make sense. But it's a massive reconciliation bill. We have those. Wait, we do those? Tailored to support President Trump's agenda. Okay, that's the selling point. I get all that. But I have an obvious question. I think a lot of folks, $95 billion, all right, when our debt's this much, like, that's a lot of cash. Why are we spending more money? Why aren't we cutting? I mean, if you look at exactly what is happening here, I mean, I support the president's vision. We can do that while still being the fiscally responsible, happy warriors that we have always been, historically. But here's the raw reality of this package. First off, the lion's share of this $95 billion is $73 billion, okay? And it's heading straight to the defense and intelligence. All right. Again, I want a strong defense and I want strong intelligence. Money doesn't necessarily equate to those. Money equals contracts a lot of times. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. But, I mean, as we just talked about, this, our forces are currently out there, like, taking the fight to Iran. You're seeing that. We're going all the way into northern Iran, things like that. Our military has been running hard. And, you know, on a positive, this money particularly isn't some, like, nation-building fantasy, so that's good. This is pure, unadulterated steel, as someone put it. It's to replenish our ammunition, to rebuild our stockpiles. You gotta buy all that stuff. Fund our intelligence networks. That's a whole other conversation. Not a bad one. If we're going to enforce a blockade and tell Iran no further, you know, we must back that up, and we have to have the resources to do it. So I get all that. It's about protecting American service members, as Lane mentioned earlier, and ending this conflict and ending it decisively. There's also $12 billion to support American farmers in this bill. I love our wonderful, incredible American farmers who are getting squeezed right now by rising fuel, rising fertilizer costs. $10 billion is for a crucial election security overhaul requiring proof of citizenship. What? Now that passed the House. I wonder if it'll pass the Senate. I don't know what the problem is with some of these senators, man. I mean, you guys ran on, to some degree, election integrity. To some degree.
A lot of them now just they legislate on I just hate Trump, and they can't get past
I'm talking
that.
Republicans.
Yeah.
Well, there
are Republicans that now that they lost their primaries, they don't want to vote with Trump.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the problem.
But here's where I think we have to be honest brokers here, okay? This bill has no spending offsets. That's my only problem. When we add these spending, like $95 billion, I mean, that's going to be added directly to our deficit. And when you're looking at almost $40 trillion, I guess $95 billion is nothing. But that is crazy, man.
It's wild.
Like you're telling me we can't, in a $4 trillion budget, you can't find $95 billion? Joni Ernst found $1.1 trillion. She didn't introduce any bill to do anything about it. How sweet is that, huh? Hey, here's the problem. You got a solution? No, there's the problem, and I found it. Do you want to do something? No, I'm just telling you, I found it. 95. I mean, look. My response to that, like, a lot of people are asking, why aren't we cutting other parts of the bloated federal government to pay for this? That's just what we're at. I'm asking that. Other people are asking that. And I mean, seriously, if a hardworking family in Ohio or Texas has an emergency and needs to buy a new water heater, for example, they don't just magically print more money. We can't do that. They sit down at the kitchen table, they talk with their significant other, they say, okay, we got to get this. This is a need. What do we need to cut from our budget this month to pay for this? And our government should be asking the same thing. We should be doing the exact same thing. We have trillions of dollars in waste. We still got some federal programs that really, you could argue, are still woke, still extreme. We still have a lot of bureaucratic tape. And I know this president's doing all he can to do it. It sure would be great to have Congress help. You know, Rand Paul and all these other guys, and I like Rand Paul, but Rand Paul and all these other guys, you know, arguing that Congress should be overseeing all these things with the war. Can you oversee the bureaucratic red tape? And if you don't want to do anything about it, Mr. and Mrs. Madams Senators, then at least codify what Trump is doing by executive order. If you can't be the ones to come up with the solutions, can you at least back him up? It's always a one-way street with you guys, it seems like. The branch with no term limits. Crazy. I mean, it's not rocket scientists. I mean, we should be cutting $95 billion from the left-wing wish list items that still pop up in our budget. We're passing this to reconciliation. We have a majority in both chambers. This is a no-brainer. Sure, the $95 billion seems like it will help. You know what else will help? Cutting $100 billion. So we have $5 billion more. I'm just saying. These are easy wins. These are easy. This is not hard. Why don't you pull it from the $238 billion we paid to the Department of Education? Huh?
100%. Let's get rid of the department completely.
That's true. What does it do? What does the federal Department of Education do? It doesn't educate
Encourage
kids.
bureaucracy.
Thank you. Help kids, help teachers. But like the teachers on the, in the trenches. All right, guys, that's all the time we have today. I had so much fun. Thank you for sticking around. Be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind.